Welcome to another edition of Coach's Corner. My name is Anthony DiPaolo. I'm joined by Titans head coach Craig Doremus. Craig, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Last week, the Titans had a two-game set in Maryland against the Black Bears. On Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, they dropped the contest by a score of 4-2. And then the following night, just like we talked about last week, Craig, it's another high-scoring affair. The Titans won 7-4. What do you think about the performance that weekend?
I thought overall it wasn't our sharpest performance. Friday night, I didn't think we played particularly well. Not terrible, just not our game, not typical Titan hockey. I thought they were opportunistic. They took advantage of some mistakes with us, some mismanagement of pucks, and they were able to find the back of the net. Their goalie played really well, made some big saves. I think we hit 3 or 4 posts throughout the game, so no excuse. They deserved it. I thought they wanted it more on Friday, and they earned the win. We immediately addressed it after the game Friday night with the guys in the locker room. We talked about we've been playing really good hockey. We've been on a really good streak here. And we just wanted to make sure that we didn't want a losing streak. We wanted to nip it in the bud Friday night and make sure that our response was loud and clear on Saturday. And I thought for the most part we did a really good job on Saturday of doing that slow start. On Saturday they get their crowd involved right away with a goal in the first 30 seconds. But our guys come back, kind of get back to what we're doing and our game plan, our structure, and we're able to come out with a win. Third period I thought, again, we got a little bit sloppy and lazy. But nevertheless, 7 goals on the board, and we get enough goaltending and defense to come away with a win. So for us, another decent weekend. It's not up to our standards, and we want to make sure we get back on track here. But at the end of the day, you can't ask a lot of your group there when they've played so well. You're going to have nights off. They're human. They're kids, and I just didn't think Friday night was our night. So we got to be better moving forward here and get another win streak going.
Kyle Jeffers had 2 goals and 2 assists on that 7-4 win. 4-point performance. The AIC commit. What do you think about him on Saturday?
I thought his game was good, obviously. I think he had the bookend goals. I think he had the first and the last of the game, so obviously those are big parts of the game. Gets the score even to 1, I believe, late. So that for us was an obviously a positive necessary point for us. And it's a nice play just when you look at the way the whole play unfolds. And he gets the puck and is able to find the back of the net. That's what he does well. And then I know the empty net goal was late at the end of the game there, but it's always good for these guys, especially the offensive players, to put up numbers like that and feel good about their game. So for Kyle, you're happy to see him get rewarded. I think he's played really well throughout the year. He's responded to some early criticism from the coaching staff, and he's done the things necessary to make himself an effective player, both at this level and like we spoke to Kyle about. It's more about getting to AIC and be able to perform and be a contributor when you're there, and I think he's taking those necessary steps right now. And as a coach, anytime the kids are rewarded with it only makes our job that much easier.
Now let's talk about someone who doesn't put the puck in the back of the net very often. David Parker scored his first goal with the Titans, and you could see after he scored the goal, the bench went nuts. How special is it to see him put one in the back of the net?
Well, I think anytime you see a player finally get rewarded for their hard work, it's always gratifying for the coaches, for the players, for the organization. It's uplifting. It was a big goal in the game, too. I think it put us ahead there after we had battled back, and it's a big goal for him. Again, well within how we like to play the game, which is important as well. He finds the back of the net. David's a kid who's worked hard here since day one. He's working on his game on the ice, off the ice, doing video work, spending time on the ice at practice, addressing some of the weaknesses in his game, and he's responded well. I think he's a good kid. The guys obviously like him a lot, as you can see their response to it. And anytime for us, again, we talked about the depth in our offense, and I think you have to attribute that to the blue line as well. Anytime you get scoring from the depth and just not the top of your lineup, it only makes you that more dangerous team. And I think our defense as a whole has done a good job this year contributing on the offensive end. And it's great to see David get that monkey off his back and get the first one in North American League and get the hard hat after the game, which I think is good for us. And again, it's the depth of our talent in the roster, which is a real credit to all these guys.
Now, last week we talked about the high-scoring matchups, and Maryland is also the only team so far to beat the Titans twice this season. How hard is it to play against Maryland? What do you think they do right when they face you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think they do a good job. I don't want to throw any disrespect to them or anyone else in the division. I think any team in this division can win on any given day. I think all the teams are good. I think all the players are good. I think all the coaching staffs do a really good job. We've played Maryland more than any other team, right? So for them, it's always been a tight game for us, but I don't think it's any different. You look at all of our games, and I think if you look through the Eastern Division as a whole, every game is tight, and it's a bounce here or a mistake here or a penalty here that ultimately costs you the game. They've done a good job playing against us. They've been able to make us defend. They've been able to get some really good timely goaltending, which is critical to winning in this league. So they've done a good job, without a doubt. Credit to them and their staff. But I don't want to be a slight to anybody else in the division. That you have to be ready to play in this league every single day, and I think that's the best part about the North American League is if you don't prepare well, you don't practice well, you're not going to win. And I think for us, it's just something we've keyed on. We have to make sure every day is a good day for us. Now we're ready for the upcoming opponent. They've been lucky enough to really push us twice in a row, and they've earned both wins. I thought they deserved it. and our guys have learned and grown from it, and something that we're going to continue to address as the year goes on, that we have to make sure we're ready to play every given day.
We'll take a quick break here in Coach's Corner, and we'll be joined by our guest, Mitch Machlitt. So thank you for tuning in to Coach's Corner. We'll be right back.
And the Titans clear the zone again. Matt Cameron looking for a short-handed rush. It's a 2-on-1. Here comes Cameron. Gets it across. They score! Mitch Machlitt. It's a short-handed goal! And the Titans lead 2-0.
Welcome back to Coach's Corner. We are joined by our guest today, Mitch Machlitt, the leading goal scorer in the North American Hockey League. 16 goals in 23 games. Mitch, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Mitch, first I want to talk about last season. You played for 3 different teams with the Aberdeen Wings, the Corpus Christi Ice Rays, and then you came over to the New Jersey Titans. So how hard is it as a Minnesota native to play for 3 different teams and then come here in New Jersey?
Yeah, I mean, it was something I haven't experienced before. I learned a lot from each division, each team, met a lot of guys, but keep your suitcase packed light and work out in the end.
And in the 2017-2018 season, you also played for Sweden, Avesta BK. What was that experience like playing over in Europe?
Yeah, that was a great experience. I never got to be away from home for more than maybe 2 weeks. So I got to be all on my own in a foreign country, about as far away as you can get, and I think I grew up a lot and learned a lot of life lessons over there, so it's great.
And then we fast forward back to last season when you came in New Jersey. What was your first impression with the team playing for Craig Doremus and the rest of the squad?
Yeah, well, I came in not really knowing what to expect. I'd never been on the East Coast, but right when I got here, the boys, we went to work. We struggled a little bit, but we had a good run for the end of the year, win far in playoffs. But that's really what drives me this year. Is I want to get back there and I want to get home and play in Minnesota and go for a Robertson Cup.
And then this year, you're with a more experienced team.
Yep.
You're leading the league in scoring, and you committed to Army.
Mm-hmm.
How great has this season been thus far?
Oh, it's been great. I mean, we got off to a great start. Like you said, we have a lot of returners. We got 3 full lines returning, so that chemistry that's vital to do well in this league. We already had that from last year, and as you can see, it's doing well, and I think it's going to continue to do well for us the rest of the year.
You want to talk more about your commitment to Army?
Yeah, my commitment to Army, it's a great honor to be able to serve my country and as well as play Division I hockey. It's a dream come true, and I'm so thankful for everybody who's helped me along the way, my family, my coaches, everything. It's a great opportunity.
And not only that, but you're also joining Brody Medeiros and Brad Zona
Yep.
as players who have also committed. So must be nice having some teammates here.
Oh,
going out
absolutely.
to Army too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Brody and I, we're pretty good buddies, so going in together next year, that'll be great. We'll have each other. And times get tough, because I'm sure they will be. So it'll be great to have a buddy like that.
And also, Mitch, we talked before about you being a Minnesota native.
Mm.
Your father came over a few weeks ago when
Yeah.
you guys played the Maine Nordiques. You picked up a hat trick on his birthday. How special was that game?
Yeah, that was awesome. I mean, he had it planned out to come out for my birthday. My billet mom, Rachel Hooley, her birthday's the day after his, so we had it all set up, and I was lucky enough to have a good game and got a few for my dad on his birthday. So I got to give him the puck after. It was nice.
You got a big weekend coming up against Johnstown. How excited are you for that?
Oh, I'm very excited. It's a huge weekend, probably our biggest yet so far. They're a great team. They're right behind us in the standings, and if we wanna continue the path we're going on, we're gonna have to play hard and battle and beat teams like Johnstown. So it's gonna be a good test, and I think we'll be ready for it.
It's been Mitch Machlitt. Mitch, thank you again for joining Coach's Corner.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Welcome back to Coach's Corner. I'm Anthony DiPaolo, joined by Craig Doremus. And Craig, coming up next, the Titans have a 2-game set against the Johnstown Tomahawks in Pennsylvania. And Craig, the Titans have had some trouble playing in Johnstown. What are some of the challenges when you go to First Summit Arena?
Well, I think what we've talked to the players about is we're all preparing these guys in junior hockey to go on to the college level. And what I really enjoy about Johnstown and getting to play there as a visiting team is it teaches you a lot about having to play, react, and respond or not respond to the crowd and not let them be a factor in it. I like that it's a hard place for us to play at. I like that their fans are so passionate about their team and they're so supportive of it, because I think for our guys, ultimately, when they move on, that's how it's going to be when they go play in other buildings, both at home as a college player and when you're on the road. I think it's great to learn both aspects of it. So I've always enjoyed it. The staff in Johnstown does a great job with the professional-like atmosphere, and the whole game setup and the game operations are done really well. So for us, it's a great opportunity for young men to go out there and display their skills. And obviously, it's always a good hockey game. Mike and his staff have done a great job. We've always had battles with those guys since my time here. And, the fans are in for a treat. It's always a good, hard hockey game. It's honest. It's whistle to whistle. And for the most part, you're going to have to play well to win. You're not going to get away with one. You're not going to cheat a game there and get away with it. You got to strap your hard hat on, be ready to work.
The team has some histories with each other. In the 2016-2017 season, your first year here, you swept the Tomahawks in the first round of the playoffs. Last spring, it was a 5-game series, and Johnstown took it at home. And right now, the series is tied 1-1. You played against them earlier in the season in Johnstown.
Yep.
What are some of the keys specifically where the Titans will need to improve on?
Well, I think for us, when you look at our team in general, I think broad stroke, obviously, we have to make sure we're defending well. We want to make sure our play away from the puck is strong. When you look at Johnstown and what they've done, traditionally in the past, but more so coming to the forefront last year, I think they've rolled it over to this year's. Their power play is very good. You got to stay out of the box. We just talked about their crowd. You don't want their crowd to come into the game. You can't let them get off to a good start or get the crowd behind them, because obviously their players feed off of that. So just some little points that we've talked about with depth and managing our puck this weekend and having good changes and making sure we prepare our bodies to go. It's the dog days this season. I think every team's going through a little bit of illnesses right now and sniffles and coughs, so managing our body and getting ready. I think we're in good shape heading into the weekend. So, again, just excited. It's another good weekend of hockey for us, tight battle here, and we're looking forward to getting on the bus.
Tomahawks are in second place. They're right behind the Titans in the standings. You also have 5 games in hand, but how important is it to take these games and to separate that gap a little more?
Oh, huge. Anytime you create separation between you and the teams below you in the standings, it takes a lot of pressure off your locker room, which, again, we all treat this like these guys are all men. They're still kids, and there is pressure inherently when you step into it fighting for X amount of points or X amount of standing. So the more gap we can create between us and the teams below us, I think it allows our players to relax a little bit and enjoy it, and it's not as pressure-packed. And we've all been there. We've been on the other side of the spectrum chasing teams. That's not fun either, and we know that. So we want to make sure we take advantage of it. Obviously we're in a good spot right now, but these games are important. We have them 2 at home, 2 away this weekend. Then we come back home next weekend with them. So we know it's 4 huge games against them. We're going to take it 1 game at a time, but in essence, like you said, it's a 4-point game every time we play them. And with the games in hand, it's even more critical here. So we're looking forward to it. We're excited. It's been a long time since we've seen those guys. I think both teams have improved since then, so it'll be a great battle.
Puck drop on Friday, 7:30 p.m., Saturday at 7 p.m., both in Johnstown. You can watch the games on hockeytv.com. This has been another edition of Coach's Corner. Craig, thank you for your time.
Thank you. I appreciate it.